Indian cuisine in Australia. India is located in South Asia and shares borders with the following countries. Since 3000 BC, Indian cuisine has been influenced by various cultural food practices. Most significant of these were the contributions made during the Mongol period. Rice, whole wheat flour, and pulses are the staple foods in India. These are served alongside condiments such as chutney and raita. Nevertheless, there are slight regional variations to these food practices. For example, North Indian cuisine is distinguished by its high use of dairy products, and South for its use of rice and hot spices. Seafoods and coconut are common in West Indian cuisine, whilst desserts are famous to the east. Traditionally, foods are sautéed and simmered over low heat for long periods of time. Flavour is added to food in different ways. Meats are marinated and tenderized, whilst vegetables are pickled for later use. The tandoor is a clay oven used to cook flatbreads and chicken and creates a barbecue-like flavour. Religion remains an important aspect in Indian culinary practices. Most influential were the contributions made by Muslim, Hindu, Jain, and Buddhist religious groups. The restriction of pork was derived from Muslim tradition, whilst vegetarianism is widely practiced in the latter religions. Many Indian festivals are celebrated with food, as its preparation, sharing, and offering of food creates the basis of which these festivals occur. One of India's biggest festivals is Diwali, which involves the sharing of rice and sweet meals. Other celebratory meals include halwa cake and rice. Due to historical colonizations, many Indian food practices are shared with other cultures. However, in contrast to Western societies, Indian food practices commonly disregard the use of cutlery and consume foods with their hand instead. India's main agricultural imports include palm oil, dry peas, and soybean oil, whilst its main exports include soybean cake, maize, and refined sugar. According to the FAO balance sheet in 2011, apparent consumption of rice, pulses, and spices were greater in India than Australia. In contrast, apparent meat consumption was 30 times greater in Australia as opposed to that of India. Indians began migrating to Australia as early as the 19th century. Whilst there was a decline in 1901, the removal of the White Australian policy enabled an increase in migration patterns. The large Indian population in Australia, along with that of Australian tourists visiting India, has increased exposure to Indian cuisine and culture. These migration patterns have also contributed to the increased presence of Indian cuisine in Australian society today. Some of the core influences include the use of herbs and spices and curry-style meals. Thank you for listening.